I'm the queen, you're the wallet, we're perfect for each other, if you've got a property title. Video 1. 24-year-old Yuan went on her very first blind date. From the moment they sat down, she laid out one bold requirement. I want to be financially free when it comes to food. At first, the man didn't think much of it. Spending about $40 USDs on a nice meal occasionally? Sure, why not? But what she meant was every single meal should be eaten out. I work out. There are many things I don't eat, so I dine out every day. I want my boyfriend to share this lifestyle, same spending habits, same values, she explained. The man was clearly confused. Eating out daily isn't just expensive, it also doesn't feel like home. But Yuan had no interest in cooking. I don't just hate doing dishes, I hate all housework, she said confidently. My life goal is to never do chores. It was clear she had no concept of family life or domestic responsibility, and when the topic turned to her parents, she shocked him even more. I told my parents, if one day you end up in the ICU, don't expect me to spend money on that. This self-assured, independent young woman, Yuan, runs her own fashion store. Despite being only 24, she earns $42,000 USD. She's tall, 175 centimeters, attractive, and carries herself with confidence. Wherever she goes, she turns heads. She said she's been single for about a year and proudly identifies as a queen, not a naive little princess. I know I'm a stunning woman, she said. The show's producers took her request seriously and matched her with 26-year-old Mr. Chen, a professional photographer. He's into antiques and runs his own studio. From his style to his demeanor, he radiates artistic flair. But Yuan wasn't impressed. The moment I saw him, I knew we were from two different worlds, she said. I could never be with someone like him. Still, she played her part. She reiterated her need to eat out every day, partly for health, partly to avoid dishes. And she had a solution for housework. I don't want either of us to do it. We'll hire a housekeeper. Mr. Chen was stunned. To him, eating at home brings comfort. Even if both partners work hard, he believes they should share responsibilities and support each other. She might look glamorous on the outside, he said, but behind the scenes, it's just messy. Sensing his disapproval, Yuan scrambled to explain. I get back pain from mopping. My hands get cold washing dishes. But Mr. Chen wasn't buying it. Just admit it, you're lazy, he said bluntly. Yuan could only laugh awkwardly. Her confidence slightly cracked. In the end, they didn't choose each other. No surprise to anyone watching. Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers from around the world is a huge source of inspiration for us. After a failed first date, the program arranged another match for Yuan, a man named Mr. Li, who was well off and physically attractive. Early in the conversation, Yuan restated a controversial belief. If her parents were ever seriously ill and required ICU care, she would not spend money to keep them there. According to her, even in her smaller hometown, one day in intensive care costs $1,130 US day, a figure far beyond what an average family could afford. Her stated position was that the money would be better saved for her future children. She also believed ICU care lacked dignity and hoped that expressing this view might influence her parents' financial habits. Her goal, she explained, was to live without regret, knowing she had allowed her parents to enjoy life before the end. The man she was matched with found this approach incompatible with his own sense of family responsibility. When the topic shifted to having children, Yuan stated that if having a child meant lowering her quality of life, she would choose not to have one. This perspective was seen as incompatible with the role of a responsible parent. The date concluded without agreement or mutual interest. Another participant, Fan, entered the program with a direct and unusual condition. She required a castle as part of her marriage expectations. The male guest initially assumed she was joking, but it became clear the request was serious. Unable to meet such a demand, he chose to end the date. Fan, a woman from the Hua ethnic group in Yunnan, works in the film business. She is physically attractive and was often pursued during her school years, reinforcing a strong sense of personal worth. Her upbringing was marked by gender bias, and she experienced neglect within her family. Despite her outward confidence, she acknowledged a lack of confidence in romantic relationships and imposed numerous conditions to protect herself emotionally. She was then introduced to Li Shuchen, a live stream host with an annual income of approximately $282,000. He found her appearance appealing. However, when Fan Fan learned about his profession, she expressed discomfort with his regular interactions with female viewers, even if work-related. Li Shuchen clarified that communication with other women was strictly professional and limited to streaming hours. Fan Fan accepted the explanation and proceeded to ask whether he would be willing to buy her a castle. Shuchen replied that his current financial situation made this impossible, but suggested looking into more affordable properties in suburban areas. Fan Fan rejected the idea, stating that real estate in North America or Europe was cheaper and offered better living environments. She preferred a castle overseas where one could enjoy stargazing. Shuchen considered this expectation unrealistic and ended the date. After a previous rejection, Fan Fan met her second match, Mr. Wang. During their meeting, she again expressed her desire for a castle as a condition for marriage. She described specific preferences. The castle should not be too large, as she did not feel secure in overly spacious places. A small garden in front would be ideal, especially if it included roses, preferably planted by her future husband, symbolizing commitment to the marriage. Mr. Wang did not respond, and the program team recognized a deeper issue. Previous male candidates lacked the financial and emotional capacity to meet her standards. To address this, they introduced Mr. Liu, a successful entrepreneur who is CEO of 2 startups and was listed in Forbes' 2017 30 Under 30 in China. With a net worth in the hundreds of millions and roots in Yunnan like Fan Fan, the match was considered promising. Their interaction was natural and fluid. Mr. Liu raised a concern about Fan Fan's openness regarding her castle condition. He questioned whether she cared about being labeled unrealistic. Fan Fan responded that just because something is considered unrealistic does not mean it is unattainable. She viewed her castle dream as valid and stated that every girl has a princess dream, and hers simply hadn't faded with age. Fan Fan clarified that the castle was a non-negotiable part of marriage for her. Even if love was present, she would not proceed with someone who couldn't fulfill this condition. From her point of view, beginning a relationship without the ability to sustain it would only result in mutual suffering. As they continued, Fan Fan shared details about her difficult childhood. Her grandmother had hoped for a grandson, and growing up in Yunnan under a gender-biased culture had left her feeling unworthy of love. To cope, she pursued perfection and sought recognition. Mr. Liu listened attentively, deepening the mutual rapport. Fan Fan believed Liu could be the one to fulfill her castle dream. However, during the final selection stage, despite Fan Fan selecting him, Mr. Liu declined. The unexpected result created a sharp, emotional contrast. The segment concluded with a reminder that marriage should be grounded in reality, not fantasy. Elsewhere, a 24-year-old model named Mireille ended a previous relationship over a 1-minute delay on a date. Her conditions were strict. If a partner failed to send good morning or good night texts daily, he would be blocked immediately. Mireille works as a commercial model. Her physical appearance has brought her confidence, but her relationships have often ended due to what she admitted were her own behaviors. She blamed previous breakups on being overly demanding and acknowledged her own role. The show introduced her to Mr. Cheng Songda, a 25-year-old Beijing native with a degree from the University of Southern California. He works in sports retail with a stable income of $70,000 USD. Songda was impressed by Mireille's looks and assumed she might have high expectations. He asked about her standards. She replied that she preferred a man taller than her, with clear skin, a good personality, and a touch of traditional masculinity for a sense of security. Songda felt confident that he matched these traits. When asked about material expectations, she answered that her partner's income should be equal to or greater than hers. Songda believed his salary qualified. However, Mireille dismissed men with lower incomes, stating that financial status was a more visible sign of drive than abstract ambition. Songda was surprised by her bluntness and began to feel out of place. She added that she expected her partner to tolerate her occasional mood swings, including instant responses to texts or risk being blocked. Songda said that within reason, this was acceptable. To illustrate boundaries, he described an ex-girlfriend who pretended to be sick to interrupt his meeting. He left work, only to find her at home watching TV and eating snacks. Mireille admitted she had acted similarly in past relationships. This revelation marked a turning point, as Songda decided her behavior exceeded his tolerance. Neither felt the other was a compatible match, and the date ended respectfully. In a follow-up meeting, Mireille was paired with Mr. Zhang Wentuo, nicknamed the emotionally insensitive Iron Man. Contrary to reputation, Mireille found him warm and emotionally responsive. He showed regret over past breakups and knew how to comfort a partner. Encouraged by this discovery, Mireille opened up about her past, again referencing ending relationships over minor issues. She detailed the need for daily affirmations and dramatic responses if expectations weren't met. Zhang, however, reacted with reassurance. He believed women deserved affection and that emotional expressions, even dramatic ones, were part of a healthy relationship. He played along with her style of affection, and this time both parties felt mutual appreciation. In contrast to previous outcomes, the pair chose each other successfully. If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me. Li Jialiang, 28 years old, is a man with no fixed income but maintains a monthly expenditure of at least $7,000 USD. He claimed that his biggest concern is having too much money to spend daily. Alongside his financial confidence, he also described himself as physically attractive and set direct standards for a partner. Appearance and figure were his top priorities, with additional specific physical traits considered favorable. For this matchmaking event, he was paired with a woman meeting conventional beauty standards. Upon first seeing her, he expressed strong interest. However, the woman quickly shifted the dynamic by stating her family's dowry expectations. A minimum of 70,000 USD, a house no smaller than 180 square meters, and at least a BMW 5 Series. Her proposal suggested that only men with several million yuan in liquidity would qualify. Li responded without hesitation. He dismissed the 180 square meter home as too small and offered a villa instead. Regarding the BMW, he considered it too basic, stating that a private jet could be arranged if necessary. For the 280,000 USD in additional funds. Although her financial expectations were met, Li raised a concern rooted in past experience. Previous relationships had failed because the women were primarily interested in his money. The woman confirmed that she was currently drawn by his wealth. This transparency did not sit well with Li but was acknowledged as a consequence of his own display of resources. Upon learning that the woman earned $700 USD a month, Li proposed that she quit her job after marriage to focus on home life. The woman declined, stating she preferred maintaining her social circle, financial independence, and sense of purpose outside domestic life. Li continued to emphasize that with nannies and wealth, household duties were unnecessary. He expected his partner to simply maintain elegance and present well in public settings. The woman acknowledged this but indicated she would only accept such an arrangement if she had legal security, suggesting that her name be added to the property deed. Li interpreted this as a strategic move for asset access. He stated that adding her name could be considered, but clarified that in the event of divorce, she would receive half of his assets. As a precaution, he proposed a trial marriage period. The woman rejected the concept, interpreting it as a conditional relationship that undermined her personal boundaries. Li attempted to redefine it as non-physical, but the woman remained unconvinced. Later, Li introduced the topic of childbirth. As the only male heir in 3 generations, he expressed strong pressure from his family to produce a male successor. He outlined his plan. For every child, the woman would receive a bonus, $5,600 for a daughter, $11,300 USD for a son, 2 full-time nannies per child, and a new house. The woman declined to commit. She cited physical discomfort and long-term effects on her body as primary concerns. Li responded that cosmetic and wellness services could resolve such issues, and offered to cover all related costs. Despite the incentives, the woman expressed hesitation. She stated that 1 child at most would be acceptable, and even then, she was uncertain. Ultimately, the date ended without a match. They both left the blind date without choosing each other. No surprise, one was looking for a life partner. The other, a personal sponsor. She wasn't interested in love, just someone to pick up the tab. She didn't like washing dishes, didn't want kids, and wasn't willing to care for aging parents. Yet she still expected someone to accept it all, simply because she believed she deserved it. This wasn't a dating failure. In today's fast-changing world of China social trends, it's easy to get caught up in money, status, and appearances. But is lasting love really built on conditions and contracts, or on mutual respect, responsibility, and family values? As modern women chase independence, is it time to re-examine the strength found in tradition? Can self-worth and dignity be better preserved by choosing character over cash? What do you think? Is it possible to find balance between modern ambition and timeless values? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories exploring the real face of China's social trends. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.